When you think of roller coasters in Las Vegas, what comes to mind? Most likely, the Big Apple coaster at New York, New York, or the coasters of the Adventure Dome at Circus Circus, or maybe, even for some of you, Desperado at Buffalo Bills, the massive yellow hypercoaster on the California-Nevada border. All of these rides are notable, making big splashes when they first opened, and all but one of them is currently remaining open, still thrilling riders to this day, with of course the exception being Desperado, which has been standing but not operating for a few years now. Even though these are great rides that have greatly impacted the Las Vegas area, there is one coaster that seems to be left in the shadows, forgotten with time, even though the pieces remain cooking in the heat of the Las Vegas sun. I am talking about the best roller coaster to ever operate in Las Vegas. I am talking, of course, about Speed the Ride. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to ask you all for your support. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, as I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2024, and with your help, I think that I can do it. Okay, now let's discuss one of the most unique roller coasters to ever open. But first, how about some history? The Sahara Hotel, opening in Las Vegas in 1952, was one of the first hotels to ever open on the Las Vegas Strip. Themed to the African Sahara, the hotel was originally modest in size, reaching only 2 stories tall. It actually resembled more of a motel than an actual hotel. Regardless of its relatively small size, the hotel was a major success, gaining huge popularity. Its first expansion was only 1 year after its debut, adding over 200 rooms. By 1960, the popularity of the hotel became so overwhelming that a 14-story tower opened to accommodate the high demand. When finished, this new tower became the tallest building in Las Vegas at the time. Over the years, the demand grew, and so did the resort. Throughout the course of its history, the Sahara Hotel and Resort would change ownership. In 1995, the owners of the Sahara would invest $100 million, covering a wide variety of new additions and accommodations. Part of this investment was the NASCAR Cafe. Now, hold on a second. What in the world does the NASCAR Cafe have to do with roller coasters? Don't worry, I'm getting there. The NASCAR Cafe in the Sahara included everything you might come to expect. Food, drinks, some activities, and what else? Oh yeah, tons and tons of NASCAR. This was already a pretty cool spot on the Las Vegas Strip, but what really sold it was the fact that this cafe included a roller coaster. And not just any roller coaster, but the best roller coaster Las Vegas has ever seen, Speed the Ride. Speed the Ride, manufactured by Premier Rides, would start in the restaurant and would launch riders from 0 to 45 miles per hour, and then later up to 70 miles per hour via a second launch, with the use of linear induction motors. It would then blast through 1,400 feet of blue steel track through some twists and turns, and then into the ride's only inversion, a vertical loop. After the loop, the ride would continue through some more twists and turns before reaching the signature element, a 244-foot tall vertical spike, which would cause the train to stall near the top, giving riders a feeling of weightlessness before they rolled back down the spike backwards. The ride would conclude with passengers traversing the whole layout backwards, and then rolling back into the station, which again was located in the NASCAR Cafe itself. For the time, the roller coaster was considered a technical marvel. Very few roller coasters used LIM, or linear induction motor systems, to propel the train, with the first one to open just 4 years prior, being Flight of Fear at both Kings Island and Kings Dominion. Linear induction motor launch systems use electromagnetic propulsion to launch the train through the layout. Upon opening, this technology was relatively unreliable. As new advancements were made, the LIM technology was eventually surpassed by the very common LSM launch system or linear synchronous motor launch system, which can be found on a variety of modern-day launch coasters to this date, including Velocicoaster at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. When the ride first opened, thrill seekers could experience the ride for just $6, with the price getting as high as $10 in later years. Even though this coaster was considered by most to be the best roller coaster in Las Vegas, the ride didn't survive too long. Its lifespan was actually rather short compared to other roller coasters of this type. The owners of the resort wanted to continue the cycle of upgrades and renovate the hotel once again, causing rumors to circulate about Speed the Ride's closure around 2008. Apparently, the ride's goal of attracting more visitors to the casinos and restaurants inside the hotel was no longer effective, regardless of the ride's impressive stats. As a matter of fact, to save on power usage, the resort would limit the amount of ride cycles they would send every hour, causing very long wait times. One train would be allowed to traverse the course only once every 15 minutes. Luckily, the rumors about the 2008 closure were not entirely true, and the ride reopened in 2009 after some maintenance. Still, even with the ride reopening, the end would be closer than expected for Speed the Ride. Nearly 60 years after the hotel first opened in March of 2011, Las Vegas News would report the permanent closure of the Sahara Hotel and Resort, and with it, Speed the Ride. The owners at the time, who took control in 2007, deemed the hotel and resort a financial loss, and they saw it fit to clear the property to make way for something new. Speed the Ride would finally close its gates on May 1st, 2011, with the rest of the resort staying open just until May 16th. Everything in the hotel was sold, from tables to beds to paintings. Everything, of course, except the NASCAR items, which were exempt from the sale, causing the future of Speed the Ride to be uncertain. There was a rumor floating around that the Six Flags Company had bought the ride, but as we now know, this unfortunately ended up being just a rumor. But it was actually sold. The ride was dismantled and plans started to be formed for the ride's epic return at the proposed Akita Plaza 3 miles down the strip. After the ride was removed, the pieces of track and support columns were moved to be stored in a lot across from the Mandalay Bay Resort as it waited to be constructed to thrill riders once again. Unfortunately, the Akita Plaza would never come to be, and the Sahara Resort was converted into the SLS Las Vegas before being rebranded once again in 2019 back to the Sahara Las Vegas. Well, this seems promising, but of course it's not. Even though the name had made a return, Speed the Ride didn't, with its storage lot actually being auctioned off and sections of the ride being sold for scrap, and the legacy of Speed the Ride slowly dies with it. Speed the Ride was a fantastic roller coaster that I myself actually got to experience in early 2010. It was by far the best roller coaster in the Las Vegas area, and it's a true shame that this is the one that had the shortest lifespan of all the major coasters in Vegas. Let's just hope that one day, a roller coaster of this scale and excitement will open up once again in Las Vegas, thrilling riders for years and years to come. But before that, of course, we have to at least wait for Desperado to reopen. Seriously, what the heck is going on with Desperado right now? Thank you for watching Stapled Media, and I am now signing off.